All right. All right. Welcome. Hello. I've been having trouble getting this live to start, so I am happy to be live. Hey, Boo. Hey, how are you doing? Happy Sunday. Yes, I am getting ready to do a live, Boo. I can't even believe I'm getting ready to do this live. I'm going to be talking about how I felt like almost half, I don't know if it was half, but it felt like half of my hair fell out this fall as a result of my thyroid. And so I had like a really scary moment for a few months, and I wanted to talk about it because it's so funny that I am doing this video even today to me, because I was talking to someone about 3 weeks ago, and I was saying to him how almost half of my hair fell out. Hey bestie, hey Angelina. I'm getting ready to talk about how my thyroid issues and fear and staying calm when we choosing our words wisely to think about and speak about when we have something go wrong with our health, to staying calm and making good decisions. Yay! I meant to text you yesterday to see how the basketball went. How did it go? So I was saying to this person, I was like, it's not like I go live and talk about my thyroid issues. And now here I am, because what happened is about a week ago, today's Sunday. So last Sunday, I ran into someone who was telling me about health situations, like serious health situations that he had gone through and was going through. And then for this whole past week, it was today. Yay! I'm glad you won. Congratulations. Tell your daughter I say congratulations. Yay. So yes, so then this whole week passed, and I kept running into people, and I kept having these conversations with people about their health. And I was like, well, this is just weird. It just like keeps coming up all week long. And so Friday I made a video, like I recorded a video, and I was going to put it up on YouTube, and then I lost it. I went this morning to my cell phone to find it and post it on YouTube. Yes, thank you. Tell her congratulations. I went to put the video on YouTube, and the video's gone. My recorded video's gone. So I decided to do a live. So yes. So here's a little bit of the story. What happened was when I was 19, so this was like a long time ago, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, which when the doctor said to me, you have Graves' disease, it sounded horrible to me. And I was like, oh my God, what's this? But I know I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. And so anyway, the endocrinologist, I should say, she proceeded to give me, my options. I mean, it was just like boom, 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 boom. Well, actually, even back up a little bit. Senora Ballerina knows this, because I don't think, though, you ever were with me at breakfast when this happened, but my former roommate was with me. So sophomore year, it was like the fall, and I went to school in Rochester, and it gets really cold there, right? As you know, it's in the north. So I am always cold, but for like a month or so, I woke up one day and it was just hot. And so I was going outside in 30-degree weather with no coat. And so I got sick. I got bronchitis. But in between that fall, my fall semester of sophomore year, my body was just doing weird things. And I would go to eat in the morning, and I wouldn't get my cereal or my fruit or yogurt or whatever. I was eating fast enough, and I would like almost black out. Yeah, I don't think you ever were in the dining hall. We know our class schedules were different. It was usually Lisa who was with me. She was with me a couple times. Yeah. So it happened like 2-3 times, and I would get nauseous, and my vision would like go black almost, and like I would just be confused. And so then I'd end up going to my classes late because I'd be sick. I was just like kind of a bit of a mess. So anyway, when I went to my pediatrician over Thanksgiving break, he looked at me and he was like, yeah, I think you have a thyroid issue. And it was because, remember Angelina? Remember when like my eyelids were retracting? It was not really a fun memory. Maybe we've all blacked it out. But anyway, so he sent me off as a referral to an endocrinologist. And so then this endocrinologist is like, you have Graves' disease, and these are your 3 options. And the 3 options were get surgery, take a radioactive pill that would stop my thyroid from overproducing thyroid hormone, but then I would need to take another pill every day to produce thyroid or provide my body with thyroid hormone. And then the 3rd option, which was what she didn't recommend, was to just take a pill every day to just calm it down. So anyway, I chose the way she didn't recommend. I was like, well, if I have to take a pill every day anyway, why don't I just take a pill that will make my thyroid hormone just produce less, my thyroid produce less hormone. So that was the way I took, but she was like, oh no, that's only a temporary solution. You won't be able to do that for like more than 1 or 2 years. You can't do it that way. Everyone does it this way now. And she was just trying to push me. And so I was 19 and I didn't really have the concept of identity and like I didn't have the mindset, I didn't know really so much about mindset. So I didn't really know what I was doing, but in hindsight, what I was doing was I was taking my power back, because I was like, no, I want to make a choice where I have enough room to make other choices for myself. So this video, just so I want to say, I am not giving anyone medical advice. I'm just simply telling my story in this video. I am not trying to tell anyone else here. I am a confidence coach. I help women and men to, write their own success stories, their life success stories through mindset transformation, heart transformation, and physical life transformation. But I am not a medical professional, so I'm not giving anyone medical advice. But what I am saying is the words and the way I started thinking when the doctor was like trying to push me, the endocrinologist was trying to push me into making a decision, what she wanted for me to do or what she thought was best, was I was doing kind of a little bit the opposite. And I was thinking about it without even realizing it from, okay, you diagnosed me with this, but I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to make this part of my identity, okay? The reality is, and I'm not delusional, the reality is my body's not happy, right? I was sitting down, my resting pulse rate was like around 100, all right? That was resting pulse rate. My eyelids were affected. My thyroid at one point was like super swollen. It was clear. I wasn't in denial, but when I chose to look at what she told me as a diagnosis instead of something that I had, what happened was I was able to start thinking about it in terms of what do I feel is best for me, what do I feel is best for my body, without it becoming part of my identity, without me saying, oh, well, now I am this, I am a sick person, I am... I wasn't about ready to sit around and feel sorry for myself. I wasn't about ready to let that take over my life and be like pushing me. Hey, Vivi, how are you? Talking about my thyroid issue and making decisions from a logical perspective, not a fierce perspective, and our words that we use to talk ourselves through it and make our choices. So I chose to think about it as a diagnosis. Instead of thinking about it, I know I miss you, Vivi. We need to get together. So I chose to think about it as having as a diagnosis. Hey, as as being diagnosed with something, not as actually having it, and then letting that fear push me. So if I had looked at it as, oh, I have this, then I would have started thinking about, now I have to do this. I have to do exactly what this person, this endocrinologist is telling me in the way she wants me to do it. Because when we choose words the wrong way, then we start funneling ourselves into decision making based on like a fear of, oh my gosh, now what's going to happen if I do the opposite or I do something different? Versus if I looked at it, and what I did when I looked at it is from a diagnosis, I could look at it and say, okay, so I was just given 3 options. I know 2 of them I don't like. I know I don't like any of them, but I know 2 of them just are not feeling right to me. So let me try this 3rd option and see if it works, even though it's not the recommended option. And it has, thank God, it has worked for me, right? And then this fall, well, actually leading up to this fall, what happened is last year, I had a new endocrinologist, and she decided that my dosage, the amount of thyroid medicine that I was taking should be changed. And so she changed it, and I might have changed it a little more. Okay, I changed it a little bit more because I couldn't keep track of like the way she'd had me change it. And so as a result, my thyroid decided, I'm not happy. Why did you change everything up on me? I was happy with the exact dosage you've been giving me for like 20 years. Why all of a sudden, lady, did you just change it all up on me? So what happened is my thyroid went off and my hair started falling out by the handfuls. Like every time I'd wash my hair in the morning, like shampoo, conditioner, each time I would like lose handfuls of it, right? It was just, and I started freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my hair. I don't want to lose my hair. Then after freaking out for a few weeks about all my hair disappearing down the drain, literally, and onto my bathroom floor and everywhere, it was like birds could have built little nests out of my hair. Yeah, it was a lot. So I realized I was freaking myself out with the words that I was choosing. I was thinking about it as losing my hair. That is scary for anyone, man or woman. That is really scary. Hey, Rashida, how are you? When you think about losing something, loss is automatically going to inspire fear to like develop and start controlling you in your heart. When I realized what I was doing with my thinking, how you doing, sis? Yes, good to see you. When I realized what I was doing, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to change how I'm thinking about it. So I started thinking about it as, okay, my hair is falling out. My hair is falling out is not exactly like an ideal thought either, but it was a more logical thought. It like gave me a moment to step back and go, okay, yes, my hair is falling out. That is the reality. But it gave me also a position of power to go in and start saying, okay, well, now what can I do about it? It all happened also, it was like August through December when beginning of December when this was all like taking place. It happened at a time where I also lost my health insurance. So I was like, now what do? I don't have health insurance anymore. My hair is getting out of whack, and I know my hair is getting out of whack because my general doctor also just called me and said, hey, your thyroid levels are off. What do I do? Well, I ended up figuring out how to manage it and get it back on track. So when I stopped thinking about loss and I just started thinking about it and switching my phrasing to this is what's going on, I logically was like, well, I know the last time when this happened, no, it wasn't stress. I was stressing myself out. My doctor had changed my thyroid medication. She had changed the dosage. So because the dosage was changed in the amount of what I was receiving, it wasn't enough for my body. It threw my body off. Like she changed it in a way that was not good for me. Yeah. And then it created stress when it started happening. So then I think probably when I was stressed out over it for a good month, I was in a panic about it. Like from August through September, I was definitely panicking. It took me like about a month or so to calm myself down and figure out I'm thinking about this the wrong way. So what are some things I can do? I knew what had happened previous times when I had a really good endocrinologist at one point, and then she left. She left the whole New York area. So I was like, how would she have like managed this? I'll manage it that way. I got myself some hair oil I'm going to give her a shout out. She's all Naturally You. She has this really nice hair oil. I was like giving myself these scalp massages like nightly. I've always done it, but like I was like really getting into it. And look, I've got more baby hairs than J-Lo. Look at all these baby hairs coming back, right? So when I calmed down and I started changing my words from like I'm losing to this is what's happening. So I just changed the way I was seeing it. Just got a low battery notification, so we're gonna have to wrap this up soon. But when I changed that way of thinking, I was able to like go back into making rational decisions. So what can I do? What are my options? How can I go about managing this? And then that cut down on the stress when I changed my vocabulary from when I'm losing to, well, this is just what's happening, right? So this is happening to my hair versus this is happening like my personal loss, right? The stress reduced. I was able to like get things reorganized, right? The medication went back to the way it had been. So everything's like back in balance now. But our self-talk is really important, because if I had kept thinking about it as like I'm losing my hair, I would still be in some sort of like stressed out mess. And it was starting to get to a point where it was also starting to affect how I felt about myself. And I was like, I'm not cute anymore if I lose my hair, right? So it was starting to affect my confidence or like my self-esteem a little bit. So I knew I also had to switch around like how I was thinking and how I was talking to myself about it. So yes, that is what I wanted to share, because for this whole week, I've been talking to people and things keep coming up when it comes to health and feeling afraid about health and being even afraid to talk about it sometimes publicly and to share stories when, we all go through different things, right? Maybe it's not health for you today, but it could be 10 years from now or whatever. And just being in a place where you choose your words, right? You choose the words, and you want to choose like big words. When I looked initially even, and I think back on the way I've navigated the whole thyroid issue, and seeing it as like a diagnosis versus me, I've been able to like give enough space for myself to think through things logically. I've given God space. If he wants to do a miracle, he may not, right? But it gives space for that. People who are not Christian may be like, well, if you're Christian, why doesn't God just heal you and make it magically go away? I don't know. That's not even my business to know, right? I have no idea. I don't have an answer for that, except it's just some things are just mystery. And that's okay. That is totally okay. And let's see, I think, thanks for sharing how this is so important. Yeah, well, my grandmother used to say, my mom's mom used to say, health is wealth. And she also used to say, when you have your health, you have millions, which is true. And when we don't have it, and when something happens to our bodies, like the first thing that happens a lot of times is we panic. And then when we panic, we start making decisions for like what's next and the next steps and panic. And I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for you. I don't want, you know, those of you who are here on this live, or, you know, people who are going to watch the replay of the live, right? It's not really a good way to go. And, you know, we still have power, even when something, you know, even when we've gotten news that we don't like from a doctor, right? There's still power and control that we have, right? But when we're in a fearful place and we lose control, right? We don't have that control as much. And so I do have something that I am doing in April. April is National Stress Awareness Month. If you didn't know, now you know. And our health can stress us out, right? When we have health issues. So I'm doing a 4-week masterclass. It's going to be every Tuesday. It's free for anyone who gets and purchases my 20-day challenge, which is only $19.97. So what do you have to lose, right? $19.97. And it's called Evict Fear. And so, you know, this one, oh, hey, Ronnie. You're just coming in at the end. I was getting ready to wrap up because my battery is getting kind of low. But I was talking about health and mindset and choosing our words, and wanting to have, like, if we've been diagnosed with something, or if we've gotten news from a doctor, you know, how we think about it and the words we use to talk to ourselves can really affect how we go about our decision making. And in the end, we want to make the best decision for ourselves, right, with our lives. But when we're in a place of fear, then we're not always making the best decisions, right? Our judgment can be a little bit off because we're thinking, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do the next thing. And it becomes like, I have to. And it just kind of like, we end up in like this hamster wheel of like running around having to do things that maybe we don't. Because that was my experience. My doctor, my endocrinologist, when I was originally diagnosed, was telling me I had to do things a certain way. And the reality is that by choosing to look at it as this is what I'm diagnosed with versus this is what I have and have to do, I feel made a better decision in the long run for myself and my body. But so how to help people so that they can stay in a place of fear, so that they can stay in a place of peace and not live in a place of fear for their decision making. So if you go to the link, anyone watching this, the link in my bio, and you tap it, it will take you to a new challenge that I launched last week also, called Evict Fear. And that is like a way, that challenge is a 20-day challenge for, you know, tools and strategies and techniques so that whatever comes your way, whether it's bad news from a doctor or some other type of like undesirable scenario comes up in your life, or that you're, I was diagnosed when I was 19. So, my late teens. Yes. Yeah, it's definitely, I could have definitely given into fear because it was like even affecting like how I looked physically. When I was 19, it was pulling my eyelids back. So like I had like, it was definitely a space where I could have panicked because every woman wants to be pretty and I was not pretty. My body was just so out of control at that point when I was diagnosed with it. And then every once in a while, for different reasons, it will like just pop up. I did have one time stress triggered my entire body to go out of whack. That was like 2018. And then this last time, this past year, August to beginning of December, it was just my endocrinologist had changed my dosage. And so my thyroid went off again. And so it can be like really alarming and scary when your body just doesn't want to cooperate. But how do you get yourself back into a place of being calm, still making the best decisions for you? How do you still maintain like quote unquote positive self-talk I'm not sure I'm even really into positive self-talk, but like a healthy mindset, right? How do you keep your mind healthy, your emotions healthy, and your spirit healthy when you're going through something that can be a little bit alarming? So that really, keeping your emotional and spiritual and physical health in the moment of a rightfully so scary situation is so important, which is why, I would say click the link in my bio. When you register for the Evict Fear Challenge for the month of April, I'm going to be doing weekly mastermind classes. So I'm so excited. It's like halfway put together. I'm going to be finishing that up this week. But I'm going to be having like each week on Tuesday evenings, different techniques and strategies in addition to what's in the actual 20-day challenge for people to like work through, and answering questions that people are having about the challenge as they're going through it on fear. Yes, but you know what I'm planning on doing for the challenge is like, it's 20 days, so it's independent. So you could get it today and you could start evicting fear out of your life literally today, 5 minutes from now. But the mastermind, I'm planning on actually recording those, because I know that even people who have a free schedule typically on Tuesdays, life. And so sometimes things come up and, unexpectedly now on Tuesday, someone's not available. So I'm going to be recording them so that people can still get all of the content and everything from the mastermind as well, which is free. So yes, I'm super excited about it. And I have felt for the past couple of months that I really I don't need to do anything. I could sit and watch the paint on my walls in my living room peel, I guess, if I wanted to. But I've been feeling like God has been like leading me to talk more about fear. I think that fear is something that's hidden and a lot of times we're ashamed of, and we all struggle through it. Like I said, I'm a confidence coach, and it's not always perfect, right? I had a moment of panic this fall because I myself wasn't, thinking about things the right way. I was using the wrong words to think about my situation when my hair started falling out. So, we all are like growing and learning together. So what I love about and why I'm excited about the mastermind is because it's, a group. And so whenever I've done group events to help people, I've always learned from the people who are participating as well as being able to help them. So, and yes, Health Matters can really test your faith for sure, because sometimes you're like, well, why did this happen, right? Like my mom's sister died from cancer, and it was like, well, God, why didn't you heal her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why did you allow her to die and be buried on her 50th birthday? I mean, I did just like kind of go a little bit left, but it can really test your faith. And my mom, I think in particular, really, really believed that her sister was going to make it. I don't know. To this day, right? I don't know. No one knows, right? It's a mystery. And sometimes, how do you even have, and I don't have the answers for all of this, but I don't think anyone does. And it's okay that we don't. Thank you, Rashida. Yes. Thank you. This was a while ago. This was quite a long time ago. When she passed. But yeah, my mom still misses her sister, of course, incredibly. But there is always a mystery to our faith, and there is always a mystery in health, and why do some, why does this happen to some people? Why does it not happen? Like, it's like all mysterious, and then a lot of fear can creep in, like what ifs, and when we allow that all of those fears and doubts and to take over our mind or our heart, we start walking a little crooked, and we, like, the time that we are here, even if it's, you know, even if we're on the planet for like 110 years, right? We want to enjoy those 110 years where we're in peace, and not like spending 110 years constantly in panic of like, okay, well, I just made it to my 80th birthday. Am I gonna make it to my 81st? Like, what if this, like, we can't be in those types of panic. So how to, you know, evict fear, move forward, and, you know, enjoy our lives and be at peace and make our decisions from, you know, a place of peace is very important, because that's when we can start making the wise decisions, whether it's our health or anything else that's concerning us. So yes, and I really need to wrap this up because my battery is really about ready to die. But yes, for those of you who joined me this afternoon, thank you for joining me. And I am going to end this live and save it so that people can also catch the replay and hopefully be a little bit encouraged. So, and Rashida, I'm going to see you later. So yes, shout out to Rashida, just a little promo. If you happen to have the Clubhouse app, Rashida, I can't remember, is it 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock? I have to double check. But she's doing she has a Prayers for Children's room on Facebook. And so she is going 7 o'clock. So if you are on Clubhouse, you can pop into Rashida's room, which is Prayer for Our Children. Hey, Info the Poet. It's so funny. I'm just ending this live, but I just had a whole live on my thyroid. Yeah. You can catch the replay if you're interested. So, and then Rashida is doing a Prayers for Our Children this evening on Clubhouse, because that can also be scary. Being a parent can be a super scary thing. If you let it be, and we don't want that to be how we as parents operate either. We don't want to like do our parenting in fear. So Prayers for Our Children, it's a way that we can give, thank you, Info the Poet, is a way that we can get together, talk and pray, and, you know, take back our power and take back, you know, what is rightfully our children's, and yes, and be encouraged. So, yep. All right. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Chat again soon. Peace.